Yo, what's cracking everyone? Ericship 111 here, and welcome to a very special drag build video. Now I know as for now in Forza Motorsport 7, the game hasn't been released just yet for the people who bought the normal edition, and also there is no online drag battles. But hopefully in the next couple of weeks, Turn 10 will change that so that there will be online drag battles because I like drag racing. Now, no, I don't normally pride this channel on drag builds, but deep down in my heart, I am a drag tuner. I do lots of drag racing, particularly with stock cars, but I also do it with modified cars. And what you see right here in the background is, that's right, a Volkswagen BEETLE that we will be building for a quarter-mile drag. And as the title suggests, it does wheelie and it does do a quarter-mile time of just 7.8 seconds. Now, just before I begin, if you guys cannot be bothered going through the video and modifying and tuning the car yourself, I have put this tune up for share. All you have to do is type in Ericship under the creators tab, and the title of the tune will be called 7.8 sec space YT, and all you have to do is download it. But for everyone who wants to know this tune, well, stay tuned. I'm going to show you right now. Right, so the first thing you're going to have to do is, of course, purchase the Volkswagen BEETLE. So I'm going to go through the entire process on what you have to buy, what you have to modify in a step-by-step form so you guys don't miss a single thing. So the BEETLE itself costs 21,500 credits. Now I don't know if this has been discounted just for me because I am a third tier when it comes to collecting all the cars, but it's relatively quite cheap. You can purchase this car at any tier, so that's not going to be a problem. So once you've bought that, we'll move on to tuning and upgrades, and then right here we'll go to upgrade shop. Now the first thing you want to do is go all the way to the right hand side, and you want to click on conversion, and you want to do an engine swap. Now there are 4 engines available. You've got the 2-litre inline-4 VTEC engine, you've got the 2.5-litre F4 turbo, I don't know what car that engine comes from, the 3-litre F6, or you've got the 6.2-litre V8. Of course you want to stick this V8 in the back of the Volkswagen, so make sure you click on that. And then the next step is the drivetrain. Now, I've clicked on it simply because I know many of you guys are probably going to think that this is all-wheel drive, but it isn't. This car is rear-wheel drive. Now, you might be wondering, why is it rear-wheel drive? Wouldn't that make things worse? Well, all-wheel drive makes the car a lot heavier, but if you tune it right, which I'll show you later, you can actually get the acceleration down pat pretty well. And then, of course, the aspiration conversion, you want to add twin turbos. Alright, so once you've done that, the next thing you want to do is go all the way back to the engine. And then here, you just want to maximize every performance available. Race fuel system, race ignition. So basically everything. I'm just going to go through just in case if I've missed out on anything. But I can assure you I have not hidden anything when it comes to modifying my car. I am being as transparent as possible when it comes to this tune. So everything is on race. Twin turbos, you've got the biggest ones out there. And of course, once you've modified everything, this car will come to 1,063 horsepower. And then after that, you're going to move over to platform and handling. Of course, the brakes, you want them to be race brakes, only because that makes the car a lot lighter. And then with the suspensions, race suspensions, everything has to be on race, basically. Yep. And then the roll cage. Now, here's the thing. Some people may say you don't need a roll cage, but for me, when it comes to drag racing, particularly in older cars, you definitely want the roll cage to be there, even though it makes the car a little bit more heavy, but it gives more rigidity, giving the car better acceleration. And then, of course, you can compensate with a race weight reduction. Now, once you've done all that, I don't know where the wheels have gone, you want to move over to the drivetrain. Of course, here, same thing again. Everything needs to be in race. Race. Driveline. Race. Race. Okay, simple. Done. And then we move on to the tires and rims. Now, with the tire compound, of course, you want them to have drag tire compounds, not race tires, drag tires. And then with the front tire width, I went with the stock simply because this car is rear wheel drive. You don't need to have thick tires at the front because all that does is add weight to the car, and you want this car to be somewhat as light as possible. So I've kept it at 165/75 at 15 inch. So these wheels are fairly small up at the front. Now at the back, of course, you want them to be as thick as possible at 245/50 R15. So after you've done that, you've got to change the rims. Now these are the rims that I've went with. And these are the ones here, the BBS RS Turbo Fan. Now, I don't know why it's not showing up, but I can assure you this is the one that I've chosen simply because it's one of the lightest in the game. So this will give us better acceleration and also reaching the top speed once we cross the finish line. So after that, the last thing we got to do, don't worry about upgrading the rim sizes. And then we move on to the aero and appearance. Now, I have gone with the removal of the front bumper simply because it saves more weight. And then here, now I might be contradicting myself, but for some reason, once I've had this little rear wing up at the top, it kind of gave me a little bit more stability. And I'll tell you why in a second once we move over to the tuning section. But I've added this. You may not have to. It might even be faster for you without this quote-unquote street rear wing, but I've had it on for my tune, so we'll just leave it at that. And then lastly, of course, we're doing the same thing with the rear bumper. We're just removing the rear bumper to save as much weight as possible. So once we've done all that, the car's pretty much completely modified. Now we move on to the tuning section. Okay, so we're going through the tires right now. Now the tires that I've set is the front tires need to be as low as possible at 15 PSI, simply because, well, the higher the PSI, the less grip it'll get, and because the tires are so thin already, they're not going to have much grip at all. Even though the car is rear wheel drive, just have them set at 15 PSI, and then with the rear tires, I just bumped it down from stock to 28.5 to get just a little bit more grip than normal. But the most important section of tuning is the gearing. So we're on to the gearing section. Now with the final drive, I put it down as low as possible at 2.2. Now with the first gear is very important. Now if you look at the statistics on the left hand side, it says my 0 to 60 time is at near 3 seconds flat, which isn't too good. Now if I move my first gear, making it even wider, my 0 to 60 time does decrease to 2.7 seconds. Now statistically, it might be better, but I have tried it and it doesn't seem to work. And same if I move over to the right hand side as well. If I shorten my first gear ratio at 3.25, it also gives me a 0 to 60 time of 2.7, but none of these numbers have worked for me simply because this car is rear wheel drive, and then when you incorporate the springs, which I will show you later, 2.9 is the best drive for the first gear. And then of course, with the second gear, I've got 1.75 as my second gear. My third gear is at 1.28. Now, it'll max out on the third gear once you cross the finish line, so don't even worry about the fourth, fifth, or sixth gears. You can have them whatever you want, but it's just these three that are the most important. So once we've done that, we move on to the alignment. Now, this is not so much important, but when it comes to the front camber, you definitely want it to be at -1, and then the rear, nil, toe, nil, and then the front caster, you want it to be as high as possible. Now with the anti-roll bars, I have not touched them because I don't think they'll make a difference at all, but here is the very important part, the springs. Now with the springs, I have made the front as soft as possible simply because you want this car to be bouncing. Now that is how we get the acceleration quicker with a rear wheel drive car, is by putting the front suspensions incredibly soft. And then with the rear, you do the exact opposite. You make it as stiff as possible so that when the car jumps off from the ground with the rear wheel drive, the rear stays very stiff, but then the front of the car allows it to be catapulted up in the air, and then once it goes down, it's able to continue bouncing a little bit, keeping its momentum. And then the ride height of the car, I've kept them both as high as possible with the front and rear, so this car basically stands like a rally car. And then we move over to damping. I believe I've left it as stock. I haven't touched anything. What's this? It's blocking me. Aero. Okay. I haven't touched aero as well. And then brake. We don't need braking. And then with the differentials, I have locked up the rear diff. This is basically the setup that I have for my drag build. Now, I must warn you, it is very difficult to drive. This car takes some practice. You will not get 7.8 seconds consistently because of how easily it is to wheelie, which is why I have kept the street rear wing so this car can be a little bit more stable off the line. So nonetheless, let's go try out this car in a quarter mile. All right, here we go. Our first run. Let's see if we can do a 7.8 second flat. Come on. All right, off we go. Lift off. Oh, nope. Oh my God. You gotta be kidding me. My first run and it just wheelies all the way to the back bumper and then just slides me out. Yes, 13 seconds. All right, our second attempt. Let's see how well we go. Can we beat our first time of 13 seconds? Oh, off the line. A lot better. Yes. That's what we want. We want it to bounce just a little bit. And, ooh, 7.9. Not bad. I know I can do better. Okay, attempt number 3. Let's go. 2, 1. Off we go. Oh, ooh, bounced a little bit. I think this is going to be a good time. Oh, 7.9 seconds again. All right, I don't know how many times I've done this now, but let's see. All right, off we go. Oh, wheelie, and it kicked. Oh. It's not bad. It did wheelie pretty well, and I'm still on the track. 8.3 seconds. Our 15th run for the day. Off the line. Yes, wheelie, bounced. Back on the ground. This looks good. 7.891 seconds. Here comes another run. Off the line. Wheeling. Oh my gosh, it scraped. No. It's put me off balance. Damn it. Oh man, this is getting difficult. Right, come on, Eric. You got this. You got this. This is like your 30th run now. All right, off the line. Yes, perfect. It's back on the ground. Good shifting. Yes, there we go. 7.841 seconds. I believe that's the best time I've actually done with this Beetle. So there we have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this quarter mile wheelie Volkswagen Beetle build. If you guys did, please make sure to smash the thumbs up button. And if you guys have used this tune, put it down in the comment section below if you had made some tweaks to make this tune any better, because I would like to find out. But remember, guys, this tune is currently up, so if you can't be bothered going through all that, just make sure to download it. That would really help me out. And if you would like to see more Forza Motorsport 7 content on this channel, make sure to click the subscribe button with notifications turned on. That way you won't ever miss out on another video that goes live. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.